Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so today's podcast is a sacred invitation into the birth story of sacred strategy, where I will be sharing how embracing my own medicine led to this podcast creation. I'll be guiding you through my journey of moving from hiding my gifts to confidently sharing how I weave business strategy with energetic wisdom. And you'll discover the meaningful process of naming this podcast and the magical collaborations that brought this to life. You're also going to receive a soul aligned framework for crafting your own podcast introduction, because this isn't just about me. This is truly a podcast about you. Whether you're dreaming of starting a podcast or are simply curious about bringing more of your magic into your business, this episode will inspire you to share your medicine more boldly. Okay, so let's begin this journey together. Welcome to Sacred Strategy, the business and energy podcast where bold strategies meet the magic of energy and intuition. I'm Sora Schilling, sacred space holder, business alchemist, and creator of the Devoted Archetypes, Sovereign Selling, and the Devoted Energy Coaching Model. For over a decade, I've guided thousands of coaches and space holders to build thriving, soul-aligned businesses that create impact and life-changing money. Let's cut through the noise of traditional strategies and uncover your unique medicine. Use the devoted archetypes to become a transformational space holder and learn to sovereignly sell with integrity. This podcast is your invitation to step into your magic and create a blissfully abundant business and life filled with curiosity, awe, and wonder. Let's dive in. Last month, a profound realization washed over me. I had been unconsciously hiding a vital part of myself. Like living between languages, between Korean and English, I found myself navigating two seemingly separate spaces, my public presence and the intimate magic that unfolds within my private coaching containers. In the sacred circles with my community members, the dance between intuition, energy, and strategy flowed effortlessly. Yet when it came to sharing this medicine beyond those sacred walls, I felt this familiar fumbling, the same discomfort that rises when Korean words slip through my grasp, when my mother tongue feels foreign in my own mouth. So, this recognition led me to a deeper truth, honestly. Just as I navigate the in between spaces of culture and language, my work itself is about bridging the worlds. It wasn't my job to explain the mystery of how this magic works, but rather to create a bridge, an energetic connection between the transformative work happening within my offerings behind the scenes quietly and those yearning externally to experience this magic for themselves. So, my podcast emerged as this bridge, a sacred vehicle for sharing while honoring both the practical and mystical aspects of my medicine. Like my journey with language, where every word carries the weight of identity and belonging. I knew this evolution required returning to my roots to seed intentional vision and purpose. So I began to really craft that and begin to listen to what my business was asking for and what the podcast was asking for. So, my big purpose, I bring together spiritual entrepreneurs and sacred space holders transitioning from scattered offerings and overwhelm to creating a cohesive ecosystem of intentional services that confidently attract aligned clients, generate 10K per offering, and allow them to feel wild, free, and calm in both life and business. I hope this inspires you to consider your big purpose. I'm going to do the same with the wildly delicious vision. This is mine. And I'd love for you to begin to notice what's yours. So, my wildly delicious vision was to help my community members from feeling overwhelmed and unsure of how to align their magic with clear business strategy, to witnessing them running thriving, soul aligned business ecosystems where each intentional service generates 10K, deeply transform clients, and allows them to step into their role as confident, calm, and empowered leaders. Yet, like my relationship with writing and language, old wounds needed witnessing before this vision and my purpose could fully bloom. And so I began to reflect on this. And in my journal, I wrote the following. Yet again, someone telling me I don't belong. It already takes effort to step into the idea that I'm a writer. My ego perks up at the chance to remind me, see, writing can't be an identity for me to claim. Speaking can't be an identity for me to claim. Being a podcast space holder? Nope, not for me. Why? I stumble with Korean. Hearing myself speak it is so uncomfortable, foreign in my own mouth. And so if mother, was my first word when I first arrived into this space as a young child, if this is the language in which my writing is meant to be born, then does that mean my words too will be fractured because Korean does not feel so fluid to me? The space, the in between, always seems to stir that longing for belonging because I feel as if I'm always in between two worlds. But even that yearning, I realize, comes from an old place. And yet here I am, still weaving, still writing, still speaking. Understanding this fear, this deep yearning for belonging, opened the path to dedication, a year of consistent writing and podcasting. With the loving guidance of my coach, we began to heartstorm the podcast vision. Naming her became an act of intention, weaving together purpose and clarity. Just as I learned to embrace the beauty of existing between languages, this podcast would bridge the practical and magical, the strategic and energetic. And so, with profound joy, Sacred Strategy, the Business and Energy podcast was born, a space where bold strategies meet the magic of energy and intuition, where the in between becomes not a place of uncertainty, but one of power and powerful transformation. The process of creating your podcast introduction can be deeply healing and therapeutic, as it was for me. It becomes a sacred moment to celebrate you, your body of work, and your business ecosystem. Now, I'm going to share with you my own introduction and then break down the foundational elements and then give you a blueprint around how to create your own epic, delicious introduction that you can use, whether it's for your podcast or for something else. Okay, so let me break it down for you. Here is my podcast introduction. Welcome to Sacred Strategy, the Business and Energy podcast, where bold strategies meet the magic of energy and intuition. I'm Sora Schilling, Sacred Space Holder, business alchemist, and creator of the Devoted Archetypes, Sovereign Selling, and the Devoted Energy Coaching Model. For over a decade, I've guided thousands of coaches and space holders to build thriving soul-aligned businesses that create impact and life-changing money. Let's cut through the noise of traditional strategies and uncover your unique medicine. Use the devoted archetypes to become a transformational space holder and learn to sovereignly sell with integrity. This podcast is your invitation to step into your magic and create a blissfully abundant business and life filled with curiosity, awe, and wonder. Let's dive in. Okay, so that is my intro. Let's break down why this introduction works. There's 7 steps to this. 1, celebrates the podcast essence and name. 2, honors who I am and introduces me to new listeners. 3, celebrates the body of work created in my business ecosystem. 4, acknowledges the divine clients I've worked with. 5, clearly states how I will support listeners. 6, encourages continued engagement. And 7, invites and inspires a vision of their business and life. So, when crafting your own introduction, I'd love for you to consider these foundational elements. And don't worry, in the show notes, I have given you a workbook that you can work through with the example, the elements, and the blueprint itself. So, I'm here to give you a general overview, but you will have something that you can tangibly look at and then work on this yourself. Okay, so the foundational elements: opening welcome. Share the magic and essence of your podcast. The soul aligned introduction. This is what tells us who you are and how your medicine serves. Then, heart centered impact. Share how you supported your soul family and your clients in the sacred moments in time. The promise. Paint a picture of the transformation you offer. And divine invitation. Open the door to possibilities. What is your structural blueprint? This is a plug and play of how you can craft your introduction. So you want your opening welcome. This could be, for example, the statement or the sentences, welcome to your podcast name. where, and then share your podcast magic in essence. Then comes your soul aligned introduction. I'm, put in your name and how you serve and what you've created from your medicine. The next sentence is your heart centered impact. For, place in the time period, I've supported and then put in your community in this transformational journey. Sacred promise. Each episode will guide you to and then put in the desired transformation. And then lastly, your divine invitation. This is your invitation to, and then plug in your vision of possibility. All right. So again, I encourage you to approach creating your introduction as a celebration of your journey and medicine. Take time to honor your work, acknowledge your impact, and create an energetic invitation that resonates with your future listeners. Let me know how this process unfolds for you. And remember, there is a workbook to help you out. All right. So, did you enjoy this little tidbit on how to create your own introduction? You'll get a lot more of this going forward, and I hope that delights you. Each week, Sacred Strategy will serve as your sanctuary of practical magic, where strategic wisdom dances with energetic truth. This podcast is crafted to nourish both your brilliant strategic mind and your wise, witchy heart that truly knows the reality of magic. Together, we'll explore sacred territories like unveiling the unique cosmic brilliance that only you carry, or weaving your medicine into methodologies that sing your soul song, and dancing with the devoted archetypes to embody your role as a transformative guide, as well as embracing sovereign selling as a sacred practice of aligned abundance. My deepest intention is for each episode to serve as a portal, igniting your magic, expanding your vision of what's possible, and supporting you in building a business that feels like a prayer answered. A business that creates both impact and abundance while honoring your wild spirit and calm heart. Now, lastly, I desire to take a moment to really honor the producer of the music, the introduction that you hear. And Johnny did an amazing job. So we have a luminary inside of the Lush Business Mastermind who is a client, but also has become a dear friend and also my personal writing coach. And her partner is a music producer. And I reached out asking if possibly Johnny would be interested in crafting the new podcast introduction. And the way in which we did this was so beautiful. So, firstly, what I remembered was I don't have to do this alone. Number two, it doesn't have to take up so much of my time. I don't actually have to go and listen to all of the different musics, second guess myself, figure out who I am, what the music is supposed to be. Instead, I leaned into reaching out to Raquel and saying, hey, if I was a piece of music, what music would represent me? That was the question. So, whether you are coming up with something for yourself, or you can ask 1 to 3 divine friends or community members or clients, the question I asked was if I was a piece of music, what music would represent me? Raquel very quickly responded back and said, this is the type of music. And she then gave me an example. And what I loved about it was it truly expressed my essence, that it was dynamic. There was a dance rhythm, but there was a heartbeat as well and a drumming to it. There was a bit of sass, but soulfulness and spirituality. And I absolutely loved it. So I sent all of that information to Johnny. And in addition, I also sent additional things, including what was the introduction that I wrote up, which you now know how to write up your own. I also talked about what are the elements in the music that I needed and how long the music needed to be. And then I trusted in Johnny's ability, in his magic and medicine, and in his ability to be this sovereign person to create, knowing that once he does so, that he'll come back and then we can go ahead and enhance it and change it if need be. And I put in the prayer field that it was going to be easy and there weren't going to be a lot of iterations. Well, what happened was there was only 2 iterations and it was the most amazing experience and I absolutely loved it. Not only did he create a minute and a half personalized music that is catered to me. He also created a short little jingle and he overlaid the introduction. And that is what you hear now. And so I am so grateful for having these amazing people in my life that care. All right, as we step into this new chapter together, receive this blessing, please. May your vision of holding exquisite sacred spaces bloom into full expression over these next 12 moons. May abundance flow to you as naturally as breathing while you stay rooted in your medicine. May each day bring you experiences that expand your heart and miracles that remind you of your magic. Remember, dear one, you are worthy beyond measure, loved beyond words, and magic incarnate. Blessings and see you again next time.